Hello, beautiful soul. I'm Selena Hart, and today I want to speak directly to the quiet knowing inside you, the part of you that's been sensing something is shifting, even if you can't quite name it. We're standing at the threshold of the June solstice, a powerful turning point in the Earth's cycle. And while the calendar marks the date as June 20th, the energy doesn't wait for our clocks. It begins to stir before the moment arrives. And many of you have already started to feel it. This isn't just seasonal change. This is energetic preparation. Your body, your emotions, and your soul are already responding, recalibrating, tuning themselves to a higher frequency. Because the solstice doesn't just pass through the sky, it moves through you. What you may be feeling isn't random. The restlessness, the strange dreams, the mood swings that don't seem to belong to your current life, these are not glitches, they're signals. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 9 very real, very spiritual symptoms that show up before the solstice arrives. And if even one of these resonates, it means something deep inside you is already aligning with the incoming shift. So don't dismiss the strange, don't doubt the subtle. What you're feeling right now is the wisdom of your system remembering how to respond to cosmic timing, and it's happening whether your mind has caught up or not. Okay, one of the first signs that the solstice energy is already moving through you is the sudden shift in emotion that seems to come out of nowhere. One moment you feel unstoppable, clear, bold, lit from within, like every cell in your body is aligned with purpose. And then without warning, that fire dims. And you're left feeling hollow, almost disconnected from everything around you. It can be confusing, even disorienting. But this isn't instability ignition. These are flickers from your higher self, testing the alignment, sparking briefly to show you what's on the horizon, then pulling back so your system can recalibrate. The highs and lows aren't failures. They're glimpses of what's possible when you're fully synced. And they come and go like waves, preparing you for a permanent shift in consciousness. You might also notice an odd stillness in your life that isn't exactly peaceful, but it's not chaos either. It's that strange space where you feel both exhausted and hyper-aware at the same time. Your body may be heavy, unwilling to move, but your mind is spinning, your energy buzzing just beneath the surface. This isn't laziness, and it's not procrastination. This is spiritual stasis. Think of it as your soul entering a waiting room between timelines, holding you in place while the next energetic layer settles into form. You're not meant to push forward right now. You're meant to hold still, to let the calibration complete. Your system is pausing, not because you're broken, but because it's making room for something more exact, more refined, more aligned than what came before. As the solstice energy continues to build, another sign you may notice is an overwhelming sensitivity. Your emotional system reacting to things you would normally brush off with ease. A spilled drink, a delayed message, a passing comment that lingers far too long. Everything feels sharper, louder, heavier. This isn't emotional fragility, it's energetic amplification. Your internal frequency has been turned up and your emotions are picking up on subtleties that your logical mind hasn't yet processed. What you're experiencing is not irrational overreaction, it's advanced sensing. You're detecting energetic shifts in the environment, in others, even in timelines before they become visible or tangible. The solstice doesn't just affect nature, it stirs your emotional field like wind over water, and you feel the ripples long before they reach the shore. You may also begin to notice flickers in your peripheral vision, shadows that move where nothing should be moving, flashes of light or presence that disappear the moment you try to look directly at them. These are not tricks of the eye, they are sideways transmissions, brief moments where the veil between the seen and unseen grows thin enough to let something through. It never shows up in the center of your view because that's not how spiritual perception works. Instead, these transmissions arrive from the edges, where your linear mind is least in control and your intuitive self is most awake. It's not meant to give you a full answer. It's meant to awaken the question, what else is here that I haven't been noticing? Your soul catches the message before your eyes do, and in doing so, your consciousness expands quietly, powerfully, without fanfare. This is how intuitive vision awakens. Not through spectacle, but through subtlety that refuses to be ignored. And then there are the awakenings, those strange moments when your eyes snap open at exactly 3:00 a.m., not because of a sound or a dream, but because something unseen has called you. You find yourself wide awake in the stillness. Your body not tired, your mind not racing, just present. It's not insomnia. It's not coincidence. It is what I call the download window, a sacred hour when the veil between dimensions softens, when time seems to stretch, and spirit has easier access to your field. During this window, your body undergoes subtle realignments, your soul receives impressions, and your intuitive channels are open just wide enough to receive what your daytime self is not yet ready to hear. You may not remember anything specific, but you'll feel it in your chest, in your pulse, in the lingering calm or the rush of clarity that follows. This isn't a disruption of your rest. It's a meeting with the deeper intelligence of your being. So if it happens again, don't force yourself back to sleep. Just breathe and listen. The message may not come in words, but it will come. And speaking of the body as a receiver, notice how your relationship with food has shifted. That snack you used to crave suddenly tastes off. The coffee that once gave you comfort now feels too bitter, too heavy, like it doesn't belong to you anymore. This isn't about preference. This is resonance. Your body is tuning to a higher frequency, and the substances you used to consume without question are now being filtered through a different lens. The foods that carry artificiality, density, or emotional baggage from the past, your system may start to reject them without warning. Not out of punishment, but out of protection. This is how energy works. It moves first through your sensory gates, and the palate is one of the most sensitive. Some may find themselves craving only fresh, light, or neutral taste. Others may feel a sense of food indifference, as though the body is asking to process less in order to integrate more. What you're consuming now, physically or energetically, must match the timeline you are stepping into. And if it doesn't, your body will know. Your taste buds become messengers, your cravings become compass points, and what no longer aligns simply fades, not with struggle, but with clarity. And then there are those feelings, the ones that arrive without a story, the emotions that seem to rise up out of nowhere, like waves crashing from a storm that never touch your shore. You may find yourself walking down the street and suddenly feel a pang of sorrow, so deep it tightens your chest, but nothing in your life explains it. Or maybe you're doing something ordinary, washing dishes, scrolling your phone, and without warning, a swell of joy moves through you so pure, it brings tears to your eyes. These are not mood swings, and they are not signs of imbalance. This is emotional entrainment. You are not just feeling your own feelings anymore. You are becoming sensitive to the collective emotional weather, the undercurrent of human experience that flows beneath the surface of daily life. As the solstice approaches, the boundary between the individual and the collective begins to thin, just like the veil between worlds. Your emotional field becomes more porous, more absorbent, and your system begins to tune into the greater pulse of humanity. You're not broken, you're connected. And if you've been feeling things you can't explain, it's because you're plugged into a larger frequency that's carrying grief, healing, hope, and transformation all at once. You are translating vibrations before they become headlines. You are feeling the weight of unspoken stories, the ache of global memory, the whispers of joy that belong not only to you, but to someone you may never meet. This is what it means to be energetically awake. It's not always beautiful, it's not always easy, but it's always sacred. Because it means your heart is no longer confined to the limits of your own narrative. It's reaching out, feeling the rhythm of life in all its complexity. And that, too, is a sign that the solstice is already living inside you. And if you've been noticing strange sensations in your hands or feet, like a tingling under the skin, a subtle pulsing in your palms, or a sudden cold patch on the bottom of one foot that makes no logical sense, know that this, too, is part of the alignment. These are not random nerve flares or physical anomalies to be dismissed. What you're feeling is energetic activity at key entry points in the body. The hands and feet are gateways, thresholds where the subtle meets the physical, where spiritual current flows in and out of form. They are the antennas of the energetic body, always the first to respond when a major shift is approaching. As the solstice wave gathers momentum, these gateways begin humming before the date ever arrives. They activate early, sending signals through your system to prepare for the surge that's coming. You might feel a prickling warmth in your fingertips, a buzzing in the arches of your feet, or even an invisible pull as if your palms are reaching out to hold something not yet visible. Your system is testing the channels, making sure the flow is clear, because when the energy of the solstice finally peaks, it won't ask permission. It will move through you with force, with precision, with purpose. And the more attuned your body is, the more gracefully it will receive. This is why, without knowing why, you may find yourself placing your hands over your heart or pressing your bare feet to the earth or feeling the need to hold certain objects with deep reverence. Your intuition is steering the current, guiding the charge, adjusting your flow. You are not imagining this. You are not overreacting. Your body is awake, alert, listening, and it knows before you do that something powerful is coming. This buzzing, this tingling, this quiet static, it's not a symptom, it's a signal, and it's calling you into readiness. And then there are the dreams, the vivid, symbolic, strangely familiar dreams that feel less like stories and more like transmissions. Lately, you may have found yourself waking with a feeling you can't quite shake, like something significant just happened while you were asleep. You try to recall the details, but they slip away like fog, leaving only a trace of meaning pressed into your skin, a knowing that lingers even after memory dissolves. Maybe you dreamed of places you've never visited but felt like you've known forever, or of people you've never met who spoke to you with a sense of timeless recognition. These dreams aren't random. They're not the mind sorting data. They are the language of the soul, speaking in symbols because words are too limited, too narrow to carry what needs to be delivered. As we move closer to the solstice, this channel between waking and dreaming becomes more active. The veil is thinner not only between dimensions, but between levels of your own consciousness. And so the deeper parts of you, the ones that remember things your conscious mind has forgotten, begin to step forward in the dreamscape. You may notice recurring images, strange synchronicities, or moments where what you dreamed starts showing up in your waking life. This is not coincidence. It is alignment. It is your inner compass receiving instruction from a higher timeline, preparing you to walk into something you haven't fully chosen yet, but are already being called toward. You might not always understand the message right away, but the message still lands. Even if you don't remember the dream remembers you. It imprints itself into your field, rearranging you quietly, purposefully, during the hours when your ego is resting. And if you wake up feeling exhausted despite a full night's sleep, it's because you weren't just sleeping. You were traveling, receiving, remembering. This too is part of the solstice preparation, the unconscious being summoned forward to take its place beside the conscious, forming a more complete version of who you are becoming. The dreams are not distractions. They are rehearsals for a truth that is already making its way into form. So here we are, Scorpio, at the edge of something vast, invisible, and quietly life-altering. If you've made it this far in the journey, you already know this isn't just about a date on the calendar or a change of season. The solstice isn't waiting for permission to begin. It's already in motion, flowing through your dreams, your breath, your body, and your bones. You, more than any other sign, were born to sense the undercurrents, to walk the line between seen and unseen, to feel what others can't name. And right now, your soul is being called into deeper alignment, not through loud signs, but through subtle, sacred recalibration. You may be feeling out of place, overly sensitive, untethered, or even overwhelmed, but that is not a flaw in your system. It's confirmation that you're exactly where you need to be. You are shedding what no longer fits, not because you are lost, but because you are being shaped for a life you haven't lived yet. A life with more presence, more clarity, and more truth. That discomfort you feel, it's not a warning. It's a soft instruction from the universe whispering, you're almost ready. And Scorpio, readiness for you doesn't mean perfection. It means surrender. Trusting the timing. Trusting your deep, watery wisdom. Trusting the flickers, the pulses, the tears, the dreams, the pauses. Because all of it is pointing you toward the next version of yourself, the one that already exists, waiting just beyond the veil. This solstice is not about sudden change. It's about sacred remembrance. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to someone ancient within you who has been waiting for this moment to rise. So breathe. Let go of the pressure to understand it all. Let yourself be rewritten. Let the tides take you. And when the moment clicks into place, when the energy finally arrives, not in chaos, but in quiet knowing, you'll feel it. It won't be loud. It won't be dramatic, but it will be undeniable. Until then, trust your symptoms. Trust your sensitivity. Trust your soul. I'm Selena Hart, and it's been an honor to walk beside you. Take care of your inner world, Scorpio. Something sacred is already unfolding inside you.